I turned the doorknob, feeling a rush of relief as it twisted easily in my hand. The door swung open with a creak, revealing a dimly lit room beyond. A solitary table lamp flickered in the corner, casting eerie shadows across the worn floorboards. My heart pounded in my chest as I stepped cautiously into the unknown space. The air was thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the sound of my breathing. Panic began to rise within me as I scanned the room, searching for any sign of life or explanation for my presence. "Hello?" I called out, my voice echoing off the walls. But there was no response, just the ominous stillness that seemed to suffocate the room. My gaze fell upon a crumpled newspaper lying on the floor, its headline sending shivers down my spine. "The Girl with Two Hearts." Dread washed over me as I realized the chilling significance of those words. "Not again," I whispered, my fear mounting with each passing second. The air grew thick with tension, suffocating me as beads of sweat trickled down my forehead, mingling with the anxiety that clenched at my chest. The table lamp flickered desperately, its feeble light dwindling with each passing moment, leaving me shrouded in darkness. Suddenly, a deafening bang shattered the silence, causing me to jump in terror. The door behind me slammed shut with a force that reverberated through the room. Panic surged through my veins as I rushed towards it, my trembling fingers grasping at the doorknob. "It's locked," my voice tinged with desperation. "Open the door." I pounded on the wooden barrier with all my might, but my efforts were futile. With a sinking feeling of dread, I watched as the lamp finally succumbed to darkness, enveloping me in a black abyss. My heart raced as I struggled to maintain a grip on reality. Summoning the last dregs of my strength, I pulled at the stubborn doorknob, but exhaustion washed over me like a tidal wave. Collapsing to the floor, I closed my eyes in defeat, the overwhelming urge to sleep overtaking me. Even as I drifted into unconsciousness, a nagging voice in the back of my mind whispered the truth. I should be fighting to escape this wretched place, not surrendering to the embrace of sleep. Yet the darkness consumed me before I could muster the strength to resist. My eyes snapped open to a harsh yellow glow assaulting my senses. Blinking against the brightness, I realized with a jolt that I was strapped to a bed. How did I get here? Panic surged through me as I attempted to sit up, only to be met with a searing wave of pain that rippled through my entire body. I bit down hard on my lip to stifle a cry. "She's awake," a voice announced, sending a shiver down my spine. Before I could react, a woman descended upon my legs, her grip like iron. Another figure joined her, pinning my arms tightly to my sides. "Let me go." "What do you want? Who are you people?" I demanded, desperation and anger lacing my words. I struggled against their hold, my heart pounding in my chest as fear and confusion threatened to overwhelm me. "Keep her still," the woman holding my legs commanded, her voice cold and authoritative. I continued to shake and scream, exerting every ounce of effort I had while battling the excruciating pain coursing through me. Suddenly, a masked man appeared before me, his eyes betraying a hint of sympathy as he surveyed my plight. "Prepare her for the surgery," he instructed before disappearing from view. My heart raced with disbelief. "Surgery? No, this couldn't be happening." "You can't," I protested, but my words were cut short as I summoned every ounce of strength to muscle away from the woman restraining me. "Get off me, you bitch," I snarled, pushing myself upright on the bed. With adrenaline coursing through my veins, I propelled myself towards the open door, desperation driving me forward. Glancing back, I expected to see them chasing after me, but to my horror, they remained rooted to their spots, their backs turned towards me. Something wasn't right. Panic clawed at my insides as I realized the gravity of the situation. "Hey, what's happening?" I demanded, my voice trembling as I moved towards the women. Silence greeted me, their impassive faces offering no answers. "Cut the crap and answer me," I shouted, desperation lacing my words. But still, they remained oblivious to my pleas, their attention fixed elsewhere. Confusion clouded my mind as I noticed someone lying on the bed, the same bed I had just vacated. With a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach, I approached, my heart pounding with dread. And then I saw her face, my face staring back at me. It couldn't be real. It just couldn't be. I felt tears prickling at the corners of my eyes, but all that escaped my lips was a choked breath. Panic seized me as I struggled to comprehend the surreal scene unfolding before me. The world seemed to tilt on its axis, spinning out of control. As darkness began to envelop the room, harsh voices pierced the air from all directions, taunting and jeering. "Cut it out. Save a life. You are a freak, Rhea." "Save a life, freak?" the voices chanted, closing in on me from every angle. I clutched my ears in a futile attempt to block out the cacophony, screaming in desperation. "Shut up! Stop it!" But the voices only grew louder, more insistent. Before the darkness consumed everything, I locked eyes once again with the face that had thrown me into a daze. My face, a chilling reflection of my existence. I groggily rose to the blaring sound of the alarm, my joints protesting as I cracked my knuckles and tugged my pants into place. With a heavy sigh, I shuffled towards the bathroom, feeling the dampness of my shirt clinging uncomfortably to my back. Flicking on the light, I was greeted by a faded reflection in the mirror. Blinking in disbelief, I watched as the figure before me sharpened into focus, revealing a grumpy version of myself staring back. It was a stark reminder of the nightmare that had haunted my sleep. But nightmares never truly frightened me. I was accustomed to them, to the challenges of society, to the struggles of my own life. I never played the blame game and never pointed fingers at anyone or anything for my circumstances. As I gazed at my reflection, a sense of acceptance washed over me. Despite the hardships, I embraced who I was. I loved being myself, flaws and all. With a resigned smile, I turned away from the mirror, ready to face whatever the day had in store. As I combed through my long, straight hair and splashed water on my face, I couldn't help but reflect on my uniqueness. I've never been your typical city girl with my lean figure and unconventional sense of style. I belong to a rare breed of women, less concerned with fashion and more focused on brains. Sure, I had my own way of dressing. I never felt the need to follow trends or conform to society's expectations. When my mother insisted on certain outfits, I'd simply choose whatever suited me best, whether it was a tank top and jeans or a traditional soiree. But what truly set me apart was something science couldn't explain. A condition that gifted me with two hearts. Science, with all its promises of answers and explanations, seemed to fall short in my case. Every doctor, every scientist, the entire world stood amazed at my anomaly. Yet, despite the fascination and intrigue surrounding my condition, I remained unfazed. For me, science was the ultimate key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe. But when it came to my own existence, I found myself residing in a realm beyond scientific comprehension. And honestly, it was exhilarating. I tiptoed down the stairs, trying to make as little noise as possible, but my mother's keen ears caught me before I could slip away unnoticed. "Rhea, where are you going so early?" she asked, her voice tinged with concern. I paused, hesitating for a moment before replying, "Just for a walk, Mama." "A walk?" "But Dr. Sam called me yesterday," she started. But I cut her off before she could finish. "Why, Mama? Haven't I told you about my decision? I'm done with your Dr. Sam. That guy is messing with my life," I declare, frustration seeping into my tone. "Rhea, try to be practical. Just listen to me. It's for your own good, dear," she insisted, her brow furrowing with worry. I shook my head, walking away and ignoring her pleas. Going for a walk, huh? My child, after your father died, don't you know how difficult our life became? That I have to work extra hours to send you to school. She sobbed, her words weighing heavily on my heart as I continued on my way. Mama, please, try to understand. I need to manage this on my own terms, I implored softly, hoping to soothe her worries. But Rhea, are you absolutely certain? My mother's voice wavered with concern. Yes, Mama. I've made up my mind, I replied firmly. I've defied the odds since birth. Remember when they said I wouldn't even make it past infancy? Well, here I am, 19 years strong. Survival of the fittest, Mama, I continued, my voice filled with conviction. I refuse to go against the natural order of things. And as for scars, physical or otherwise, they're just reminders of the battles we've fought. I'm not afraid of them. Death is inevitable for us all, I said, my tone unwavering. I don't see why it has to be such a taboo subject. I've accepted it, and I won't let fear dictate how I live my life. If it weren't for my mother, I would have unleashed my fury upon the mob that gathers outside my home, their chants piercing the air, their demands intrusive and ignorant. Save a life. Donate. They cry out as if my existence is a commodity up for grabs. For someone as unique as I am, one in billions amidst the 8.1 billion on this planet, I demand respect and understanding. Scientists scratch their heads over my condition, bestowed upon me in my mother's womb, 2 hearts beating in a rhythm where there should be one. Years of probing and prodding have led them nowhere, labeling me a freak mutation. But I refuse to accept their narrow-minded perspective. It's not an anomaly, it's awesomeness incarnate. I wanted to christen it myself, perhaps something like Rhea's heartsome, but the medical establishment recoils at such notions. Instead, they advocate for surgery, to slice away a part of what makes me who I am, all in the name of saving a life. Ridiculous. With an IQ of 180, heightened concentration, unparalleled athleticism, and a metabolism that puts others to shame. Why would I even entertain the idea of surrendering one of my hearts? It's not just about survival. It's about embracing the extraordinary. I refuse to let fear or ignorance dictate my choices. My belief in myself is unwavering, and I won't let anyone diminish the marvel of my existence. 2 hours later, I found myself seated in the familiar surroundings of the college cafeteria, lost in my thoughts about my conversation with my mother earlier that morning. While I never regretted the words that escaped my lips, a gnawing concern for her lingered in the depths of my being. Amidst the bustling crowd of students enjoying their morning snacks, a stern yet familiar male voice broke through my reverie. "Here's your coffee, madam," he said, his tone affectionate as he pulled out a chair and settled beside me. It was Rishi, the man I loved, my unwavering pillar of support. Just seeing him made a warmth spread through my chest, soothing the worries that plagued my mind. I owed so much to him. Without his steadfast presence, I doubted I would be the strong and resilient Rhea I had become. As he handed me the cup of coffee, our eyes met, and I couldn't help but blush at the depth of affection in his gaze. Rishi had an innate ability to make everyone around him feel valued and cherished. His infectious laughter and genuine concern for others made him a beacon of light in even the darkest of moments. "Rishi," I began, my voice laden with the weight of my concerns from the morning's conversation with my mother. I can't shake off the worry. Before I could finish, Rishi reached across the table, his touch a comforting anchor amidst the storm of my thoughts. "I'm here for you, Rhea," he murmured. "Remember what I always tell you? Stop fretting." My heart was heavy with the burden of impending decisions, and I poured out my fears to Rishi. "People are beginning to follow me," I confessed, my voice trembling with emotion. Soon, the entire world will blame me for refusing to donate one of my hearts. Dr. Sam won't relent until he finds a suitable donor. I fear I may have to leave my mother forever, seeking refuge far from. Hey, we're not going anywhere, Rishi interjected firmly, his unwavering support like a lifeline in my turmoil. Everything will fall into place, Rhea. But the words tumbled out in a torrent of anguish. Everything was fine, Rishi. I choked on tears, the weight of the situation crashing down on me. I thought the doctors had closed my case 3 years ago when they failed to find an explanation for I've been living a happy life, but everything's turned upside down since my mother received that call from Dr. Sam a month ago. He's using her to set me up for his gain, exploiting my medical history for his patient's benefit. As tears streamed down my cheeks, Rishi's smile was a beacon of strength. He lifted my hand, his touch grounding me in the present moment. Can you feel it? He teased gently. Your hearts are speaking to you, Rhea. Listen. Stop it, I protested weakly, though a glimmer of resolve stirred within me. No, listen, Rishi persisted, his voice firm yet gentle. They're telling you to stay true to yourself. Your destiny is shaped by your choices. It's time to embrace your strength, Rhea, to unleash the badass within you. With Rishi by my side, I felt a flicker of courage ignite within me. As his hand rested over my hand, I knew that together we would face whatever challenges lay ahead, drawing strength from each other's unwavering support. As I emerged from the depths of that haunting nightmare, tensions with my mother lingered, weighing heavy on my mind. The sky is damp and cloudy, very much resembling how I felt the whole day. As I walked towards my motorcycle parked in the college parking, I hoped for a ray of sunshine breaking through the clouds. Opting for the quieter suburban route to make my way home, I couldn't bear the thought of navigating the chaotic city streets, overrun by reckless drivers. Straddling my motorcycle, a cherished relic of my late father's affection, I felt his presence envelop me like a comforting embrace. This Royal Enfield Bullet Clubman was more than just a machine. It was a tangible link to the man who had imparted so much wisdom and love before departing this world. Oh, how I yearned for his guidance in this moment of solitude. Dad, I whispered into the wind, my voice carrying my heartache and longing into the empty expanse before me. I wish you were here. There's so much I need to share, so much I want to say. The ache of his absence weighed heavily on my soul, each memory of our conversations a bittersweet reminder of what I had lost. With a heavy heart, I revved the engine, the roar of the motorcycle echoing my inner turmoil as I embarked on the journey home, carrying the weight of my unspoken words and unfulfilled longing. The sky started pouring all of a sudden. I decided to speed up and reach home as soon as possible. My vision became blurry as my helmet began to fog. I should take it off. It's blinding my view. Suddenly, I felt a gush of wind on my face. Before I could comprehend what was happening, I felt weightless. For a moment, there was silence. A deafening, suffocating silence that enveloped everything in its wake. In a couple of seconds, I found myself lying on the road, unable to move. Did I hit something? Or did something hit me? As my eyes fluttered open, I found myself surrounded by the sterile, beeping machinery of a hospital room. Surprisingly, I felt no pain. Relief flooded through me. I had survived the accident. With determination, I detached the cords tethering me to the machines, eager to reassure my worried mother waiting outside. Bounding out of the room, I spotted her, tears streaming down her face as she clung to my aunt for support. Relief washed over me, and I called out to them, my voice echoing through the corridor. But to my confusion, they didn't react. It was as if I was invisible to them, my shouts lost in the void of their grief. Panic clawed at my chest as I watched them, helpless and bewildered. Why couldn't they see me? The silence stretched on, broken only by the sound of approaching footsteps. Rishi emerged from the shadows, and I rushed to greet him, a smile spreading across my face. But to my shock, he walked right past me, his gaze fixed on the door to the ICU. Confusion swirled within me as I watched him disappear behind the heavy doors. What is happening? Why is everyone still sobbing if I was fine? Dread settled over me like a shroud as I grappled with the unsettling realization that something was deeply wrong. I ran after Rishi. My heart plummeted as I stepped into the room, my breath catching in my throat at the surreal sight before me. Rishi sat by the bedside, his anguish palpable in the tear-streaked lines etched upon his face. And there, lying motionless upon the hospital bed, was me. The shock coursed through my veins like a bolt of lightning. It couldn't be real. This was just a nightmare, a cruel twist of fate. Am I still in the same dream? But as Dr. Sam stormed into the room, his authoritative presence demanding attention, reality crashed down upon me with brutal force. "Who let you in?" His voice thundered, slicing through the air like a knife. Rishi rose to his feet, desperation etched in every line of his trembling form. "I'm sorry, doctor. Please, you have to save her." "Don't let her die," Rishi implored, his words a desperate plea. "She won't die, will she? She has 2 hearts. She'll pull through, right?" His voice wavered with uncertainty, his frantic gestures betraying his fear. The tension in the air was suffocating, a palpable weight pressing down upon me as I waited for Dr. Sam's verdict, clinging to the fragile hope that somehow, against all odds, I would survive. "Rishabh," Dr. Sam began, his voice grave with concern. "Rhea has suffered a severe head injury. If the fluids in her brain start to build up..." His words hung in the air, heavy with implication. I held my breath, dreading what would come next. "One of her hearts was already dead," he continued, his tone somber. "We had to remove it to fix the blood flow again. I'm sorry, Rishabh. The odds are against us. We can't clarify until she shows some improvement." With that, Sam left, leaving behind a palpable sense of despair in his wake. Rishi, overcome with emotion, broke into tears. He reached for my hand, holding it close to my heart. "Rhea," he choked out, his voice trembling with emotion. "Can you hear me?" "It's me, Rishi. You have to fight. You hear? Please, I beg you. Please. Hold on." His words faltered, his grip on reality slipping as he struggled to find the strength to go on. I wanted to respond, to reassure him that I was still here, that I was fighting with every fiber of my being. But my voice remained trapped within the confines of my mind, drowned out by the deafening silence of my own uncertainty. In that moment, we clung to each other, 2 souls adrift in a sea of uncertainty, seeking refuge in the fragile hope that somehow, against all odds, I would find my way back to him. Suddenly, an overwhelming sensation engulfed me, a blinding surge of white light washing over my senses. Is this the end? Is this how it feels to die? Rishi. My thoughts cried out to him, my heart heavy with regret. "I'm sorry," I wanted to tell him, but the words remained trapped within me. My fight was slipping away, slipping into the void, and I longed for just one more chance to say goodbye.
"Rhea."
A voice so familiar reverbed close by. "Daddy? Is that you?"
"It's okay, my child. Daddy's here."
"Why did you leave us, Daddy?" We were alone and scared. I couldn't control my tears.
"I never wanted it to be like this, Rhea. But I was always watching you. I'm proud of you, darling. I knew you were a fighter from the day you were born. I'm happy for you."
"I'm worried about Mama."
"Why? She's going to be fine. Dear, I have little time. It's time to go."
My father began stepping back. I wish I could say goodbye to Rishi.
Why? You are not going anywhere. Goodbye, Rhea.
What? Daddy? Slowly, Daddy faded away, leaving behind a smile. I felt trapped in a time warp as my head spun. The glow started to diminish. In utter darkness, I blinked my eyes open. For the first time, pain felt so good. Rishi remained there, his head heavy on my shoulder, eyes shut tight. Rishi, you're hurting my shoulder, I spoke in a low tone, not to startle him. Rishi jolted, tears streaming down his cheeks. Without a moment's hesitation, he leaned in and planted a soft, tender kiss on my lips. The last memory I held of him was waving goodbye, and now, here I was, in an unfamiliar hospital bed, kissing him. Everything felt surreal, like a twist of fate I couldn't comprehend.